All right, Joe Biden finally scheduled to hold a solo news conference on Thursday, waiting the longest to do so of any president in the modern era. Now, before Thursday's presser, I have a few questions of my own for the ever so weak and frail and cognitively struggling Joe Biden. Joe, will you take a cognitive test? And beyond Biden's cognitive struggles, many other questions he needs to answer. For example, Mr. President, can you guarantee that every migrant that comes across the border illegally will be tested for COVID? Will you not now realize the mistake of your border policies and maybe reinstitute the stay in Mexico policy, maybe end the idiocy of catch and release? You know, the same standards, by the way, that apply to the rest of us, shouldn't they apply to illegal immigrants? I don't see you complaining about their lack of social distancing inside those overcrowded facilities we were showing earlier in the show. Will you please let us see the cargo shipping containers that allegedly have butterflies on the windows? Do you really believe that your policies and rhetoric encourage migrants to storm the southern border? Many migrants on camera are saying, yeah, you encouraged all this. Here with reaction, Lara Trump is with us. The fact that he had nothing on his schedule Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and one event today tells me, I'm guessing, just conjecture on my part, that Joe's likely practicing Lara Trump because he needs practice before any big moment.
Yeah, well, it's sort of reminiscent of the campaign, Sean. Remember, he sort of hid out in his basement. Remember, we didn't see him for a long time during the campaign. He went weeks at certain points without ever coming out of his house in Delaware. So this is no different. We sort of thought maybe we would get a little more transparency from Joe Biden should he ever get to this point. Well, we haven't. You just said it. This is the first time in over 100 years that it has taken this long for a president to do a press conference. And gosh, I sure hope that the mainstream media is ready. I sure hope they ask him questions about the southern border. I'd like to ask him maybe, I don't know, does he think any of his policies so far have benefited the American people? Because so far we've seen the energy jobs leave America. We've seen the auto plants are now going back to Mexico when under Donald Trump, they actually came here to America. He got people back to work in America. He got things back up and running. Joe Biden is turning it all around. Does he think it was positive that he has affected at least a generation of young women with this Equality Act, with, you know, taking away opportunities that they might have via women's sports, scholarships, et cetera, their future? But I suspect, Sean, that what we're going to hear from the media when they question Joe Biden is something more along the lines of, you know, what flavor milkshake had he gotten that day? So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm expecting, what do you find enchanting about the office? A question asked of Barack Obama. Vladimir Putin clearly seemed to take shots at Joe's struggling cognitive abilities. The Chinese were lecturing our delegation and our Secretary of State in Alaska on the issue of human rights. Do you believe that the things that I see, Joe being weak and frail and struggling cognitively, our enemies see, and that they are taking liberties that they wouldn't take if your father-in-law were still president?
Well, I'm sure that's playing a big factor. And absolutely, they see a much weaker person in Joe Biden being president of the United States than they ever did in Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump, when he drew a line in the sand, he meant it, and they knew it. They knew not to test him. They knew not to push him or push the boundaries with Donald Trump. With Joe Biden, it's pretty clear they could probably do whatever they want. And there's really nothing that Joe Biden is going to do. He hasn't stood up to anyone so far. He has a complete disaster on the southern border. He's making us look like a bunch of fools as Americans. And we want strength. It's peace through strength. That was always Donald Trump's motto, and it worked. Guess what? We did not enter one unnecessary war, one new war under Donald Trump's tenure as president of the United States. He actually brought the troops back home, and we were out of the endless wars. Under Joe Biden, I think they see exactly what you're saying. He is weak, he is frail, and he's somebody that can be pushed around. It's really scary to be an American right now.
It's embarrassing. Quick question, exit question. Still considering a run for Senate in North Carolina, your home state?
Always your exit question, Sean. Yes, I am still considering it. Absolutely.
All right, Lara Trump, thank you for being with us.